Hey up troops, hey Littleton here again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at Maestro setups with a twist. Maestro got a buff recently, he's now got 3 Evil Eye cameras. We're going to look at setups which do things slightly different to what Maestro used to do when he had 2 cameras. So now Maestro's got 3 cameras. My theory is to play those cameras slightly further away from the site, not far, but not in the sight room itself. Maestro traditionally was played with the camera in sight, and you would then use the lasers to try and deny the plant at times. I now think that Maestro is better with the cameras externally outside the site, where you're going to put them on common drone corridors and doorways and drone holes. And the idea of the Maestro cam is to destroy the intel, the drone information the attackers can try and gain, is you destroy those drones. And yes, those cameras will probably die and not make it to the end of the round, but the purpose is to destroy 2 or 3 drones per camera, which would be unreal. Like you think about Villa, study balcony, the drone that comes under the door, you can destroy that straight away with a Maestro cam. They have no intel in study now. You can do the same on 90, on top red, and all the other play. We're going to look at all the setups, but the whole point of these setups is to extend the cameras slightly, still give you good intel around the edge of the site, but to destroy those drones as they try and come into the site, or to gain info on where the attackers are going to enter the building. I hope that makes sense. So there's 2 things which are prominent for every Maestro setup. 1, use your observation blockers. Put your Maestro cameras behind observation blockers and destroy the drones before they see the Maestro cameras. Obviously, they can't see through the observation blockers. I do mention it on a few setups in this video, but think about it for every setup. The second thing, and this one's a bit more prominent, is Brava. If you see a Maestro on the defending team as an attacker, you should switch to Brava and you should play Brava. So when you're playing Maestro, you need to be a little bit cute in the way that you place your cameras down. You don't want to be running away from sight straight away and giving away that they've got a Maestro. You just need to think about where you go and what you do and how you can try and get these cameras down without being spotted by a drone ideally. Or if you do get spotted by a drone, just know that on those Maestro cams, you've got to be active on them at the start of the round to stop Brava hacking the cams. Because if Brava starts hacking the camera, remember there's that bit of time before the hack goes through, before the hack's complete. If you destroy the drone in that time, then the hack doesn't go through. So you've got a chance to sort of fight back and stop the hack going through. But just remember, Brava is a massive counter to Maestro, especially with these setups where the cameras are slightly further away from sight. So just bear that in mind. Right, I've gone on for long enough. That's enough talking. It's enough waffling. Let's get stuck into it. We're going to get started here then on Clubhouse in Gym and Bedroom. And I think we all know what the first thing to do is. Shoot the radio. Right then. So, as we said at the start of the video, the objective of these setups is to try and deny intel more than it is to cause damage to the opponents with the lasers. So, we're going to be putting these in places where drones are often going to find their way past. So, the first one is here. On the breach, not only are you going to see the breach when it's opened, you're going to see this drone hole here, which is a super common drone spot. But you're also going to see gym window, which is also a common spot to be droning from or entering from. Second one goes on this little cabinet here in Logi. I'll tell you what, let's jump on the cameras out. You can see the gym window, you're going to be able to see the drone hole, and obviously the breach. You've then got this one here in Logi, which later on in the round, when the attackers generally get control of Logi by turfing the guy who's on this wall here. There's usually a mirror here sometimes. When they get control of this area, you're going to be able to see this here, obviously, but also the drones that come through Logi hatch early doors, you're going to be able to destroy them with that as well. And finally, we're going to go over to construction. We're going to put this on the floor in the corner of construction. Now, for some reason, Maestro cams that go on the floor go unnoticed so often. Like, if you were to come in here now and look at that, you wouldn't even notice that was on the floor. Yes, if you turn it around, it's going to have the black window on the front, which is going to make it a little bit easier to see. But still, when you have to when you're defending this area, the gym bedroom area of the map, generally what happens is you start in cache, you try and defend cache, and then eventually you end up being pushed back into construction, and you end up being pushed back into master, and you get pushed further and further back. At the point where the attackers need to start executing and taking control of construction before they think about executing into the bedroom, into master, they're going to have to drone this site 100% of the time. And if you can just snap the drones as they come through, so they can't drone through there, and obviously this single wall is probably going to be open as well. And then anyone dropping Logi hatch could also be seen on that as well. It's a really solid drone. But do you think about the lines of protection we've got here? So we've got all the way down construction. We've got all the way from Logi that way. And we've got the camera that's on top main / the breach. And don't forget you can spin that to see top main as well. So we've got from there down. We've got from there across. We've got from here across. And we've got from here across as well. Like it's a ring almost around the entire side. Don't forget with this one in the corner of construction as well, you're going to be able to get some view onto if anyone hops into master as well. Just really solid cameras. Maestro is really, really solid these days. Being able to have 3 cameras, which is the same as Valk, but obviously you can destroy drones with them. Yes, it's easier to see the cameras, and yes, they can just be melee, don't forget. But don't forget, that doesn't stop the camera from working. You still get sound on this camera, and you can still open it and damage the opponents if you want to, and you can still destroy drones that way. You just can't see out of it, obviously. So yeah, really good setup, and it's not often we talk about Gym Bedroom, and it's a miles better site than CCTV, so if you play this site, consider using those cameras. Right, then it's time to get cooking on Nighthaven Labs, and the first thing you need to do on this setup is get rid of these 2 monitors. This isn't a joke, I'll tell you why in a second. Get those out of the way. Right, your first camera is going to go just on, like, you've got this sort of window shutter type thing just to the left of it. Maestro, if you want to put that down? Thank you, mate. And then you're going to do the usual setup. This is reinforced, and this is reinforced, and then there's a line of sight there, and there's a line of sight there. That's good enough for now. Then your next camera is going to go outside here, just outside IT, in line with the door on the mezzanine or rafters sort of barrier. And then your final camera is going to go in connector on the back wall, so it's not going to be seen when they walk in. Up here on the wall, like so. Now, what are these cameras going to do, and what benefits are they going to give you? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'll show you. So the first one is here in the back of Command Center. You're going to see the walk-in from Aqua Stairs. You're going to be able to get any drones that come in that way as well. And you're going to be able to see, let me go and stand in the door. You're going to be able to see the electrical door from that camera as well, so you can see anybody walking in that way. The next camera is the one that we put on rafters, which is going to be able to see the entirety of the breach and any drones that come under towards the rafters or top of warehouse, mezzanine, whatever. I call it rafters because it's similar to Clubhouse. Some people call it top mezzanine. It's up to you what you want to call it, but you're going to be able to get the drones that come through there and through the breach. And then finally, we've got the connector cam. There's a drone hole just underneath where I am there, this one here. So you're going to be able to see any drones that come through that drone hole and go left into connector. You're also, into electrical. This is connector, this is electrical. And anything that comes into connector from the meeting hallway, which is this way, through here. Any drones that come in through this way, or when this wall inevitably gets opened, you're going to be able to see any of the drones that come in through that way. Also with this camera, what you're going to find, sometimes the defenders will make a rotate here. Or have a mirror window. Mirror? I think I've just said mirror. I don't know what mirror is. I have a mirror window here. So you're going to see sometimes an ace charge or Habana pellets shot at this mirror window. Okay, stop doing that now, Andy. To try and get rid of the mirror window. So with this camera, you're going to be able to destroy the hall breach as well. What some defenders will do is, and I recommend doing this when you defend a connector, is to start in this room with this reinforced and defend here, like along this corridor. And obviously this will be muted or bandited or KD'd, hopefully. And then if they do get this wall open, you know, like what you do on Oregon Elbow, where you retreat through the elbow and reinforce behind you. I knew I wasn't going to... Oh, I can get through it. I reckon you then retreat through here and then reinforce this side. So then this one and this one's reinforced. You've just got to be careful not to pin yourself in too much, because what can happen is if this wall then gets opened after that, you're then trapped from this door here and this door here, and sometimes on Mez as well. It can be a real pinch point. So sometimes you're better off just fighting your life with a couple of you in connector. But if they do try and hard breach this wall, obviously you're going to be able to stop it with this Maestro cam. And as I say, you can see the jump into electrical and the drone hole. Really, three solid cams across the whole site. The only place that you haven't really got info with the Maestro camera here is the bottom of the mezzanine side of things. You can't see much of this room, obviously, but to get into this room, you've got to come through this way, or come through that way, in which case the cameras are all covering that. The only place you can't see, really, is if there's any... from where this camera is here, like this way. Like, from here on backwards, there's no information. You've got a default up there. If you could get a Valkyrie, I like throwing a Valk cam, by the way, right up there. No one ever spots it. But anywhere sort of on the roof here or anything like that will be fine. But don't put it too much in the eye line of the default cam. So when, like, the attackers come through this door, they're going to shoot for that default cam. Don't, like, put your Valk cam along here. Because when they shoot for the default cam, you're going to be able to see it. The one I put is, like, hidden behind this... like, there's a tiny little lip you can see there on this... Is that like a crane? A crane type thing? There's like a little lip there, so it hides it quite well. But you've got no information from this Maestro cam backwards, so anything on rafters you want to watch out for. I mean, in an ideal world, what you'd probably be doing is playing as army. Put a Kiba barrier here, and you're going to be holding this door, and then you can go back this way and hold the breach from here as well. You just got to watch this window. That's where you can see it. Aquador on the other side, so just watch out for that. But this is a real strong point here to be playing as army, a bit like you do on Clubhouse with rafters anyway. But yeah, really solid setup for Nighthaven. Maestro's the GOAT getting played. We're on bank top floor now, and we're going to do pretty much the same thing where we're covering the perimeter of the site, and this one is incredibly effective as well. Now, the first one's going to go on this angled wall here, but you want to make sure it's after the first 2 windows in this area here, and I'll show you why. When you put it on the wall, now means you can see anything that comes through the stock double door. You're going to be able to see the janitor door, but more importantly, with it being here, you're now going to be able to see the stock door. Did I just call that stock? Or did I think I called that janitor. I thought I messed that up. And then stock door, then you've also got the main stairs, and you've also got anyone coming around from the top of spiral stairs as well. If you were to put that here, obviously you're not going to get all that information down at the bottom end. Now the next one is going to go pretty much opposite this, but down here on the floor. Now make sure you don't put it right in the corner. Look at where this bin is. I think it's a bin, or a trash can, should I say, rather, for our American friends. Look at where that one's in line with. You want it roughly in the same line. Pop it there. This one's going to give you the information for top spiral, and again, anyone coming up main, because this camera, that camera at the end there, probably isn't going to last that long once they get control of stock and janitor. But remember, we're here to destroy the drones firstly and primarily, is my opinion on the way that I think Maestro has played better these days. And the last one we're going to put is to cover the windows to site. And you can put it this side, but if you put it this side, you can't see the back 2, you can only see these 2. You put it just to the side of this door. From here now, you're going to be able to see all 4 windows, and you can see if anybody rappels in. Any drones that can come in, you can get as well. You can't see much else. The benefits of putting it here means you can see across the janitor rotate, but for me, you've already got 2 cameras seen. I mean, this one especially, but this one can see it. This one that's over there can see a bit of janitors. But the one that's obviously outside janitor door there is going to see that, whereas this I just think is valuable to see if anyone comes through the 2 windows at the end there. But again, don't forget, by the way, I didn't mention it on the clubhouse setup, we've got observation blockers for Maestro as well. So you can do... you can hide the cameras from the drones even more, so if you wish. This is a great observation blocker to put up. So any drones that come to the top of spiral stairs here, get to the top of here, look to the right, don't see the Maestro cam, and use up the Maestro cam. They haven't got a clue where the Maestro cam was. Exactly the same at the other end. When the drones are coming in from top square, which is where most of the drones are probably going to come into, you can either drop this on the door here, but you want to make sure it covers the Maestro cam, so I like putting it right tight to this wall here. Yes, they can still see around this corner here. Oh no, actually, I thought you could have a little gap there. That's actually perfectly sized for that corridor. So from there, obviously, before, as the drones come around, you can even put it a little bit closer, maybe more in this area to give yourself more of a chance. Because as those drones come around that corner there, you're not going to be able to destroy the drone between there and there sometimes. So you can make it come a little bit closer. Bear in mind, the drone can't see anything past there. And by the time it gets to here, you can just zap it with the cam anyway. Obviously, keep your eye out for drones coming out of stock as well. But again, the perimeter is covered. So all the way around there, all the way down here. Again, with this one, we've got this line as well. You've got the way across, and then on the far side of the one over there, you're all the way down that back line. Getting the drones, which are likely going to come from top square mostly, and some from top spiral. But being able to get rid of... You're probably going to get 3 or 4 drones in the first 30, 40 seconds. Just put yourself somewhere safe. You don't even have to worry about being on a hard floor anymore. I was going to say come and stand on a hard floor, which is this here. You don't even have to stand on a hard floor anymore, because you're not going to get shot through as a grenade through the floor. So, yeah, cover all the perimeter. Again, really good for info and really good for destroying drones. So we're up here then on Skyscraper for tea and karaoke, and this one is another absolute class setup. First one's going to go here in Geisha on the dividing door between... this is a doorway here, which you can barricade if you want to. As you same you can with this one. But that goes between the breach for Geisha and the window for Geisha. The reason we put it there is it can't be shot from the breach or the window, but you can flick between both sides to see if the any drones come through the window or the breach. And don't forget, you're going to have the feet holes into drum, which means you're going to be able to see through there as well. However, that isn't as important because we are going to have a cam in there in a second as well, but you can see the door there through into terrace. Next one's going to go top black stairs, although they're actually called back stairs on the map, but everyone calls them black stairs because I believe they were black at one point. They must have a brown stair colour now, but yeah, they're actually called back stairs on the map. This is going to go on this green window in line with the corridor. Now, why this goes here, right, which you could argue is quite easy to get rid of. Somebody just walks up back stairs and punches the camera and it's gone. Correct. With Maestro, you've got to make sure you're actively playing the cameras, right? When somebody comes up these stairs and they see this here, the first thing they want to do is going to go punch it. And if that's the case, you need to be playing the rotate that's here most of the time, because this will be reinforced. wait for them to walk up, and then swing as you know they're going towards the camera. So you can't just, even though the Maestro cameras are more extended, so to speak, and a bit more vulnerable, you also just can't leave them to die too easily. I've got to try and protect them a little bit. So we've got one in Geisha, one at the top of back stairs. The final one goes here along this drum mezzanine hallway. You can actually put cameras between these wine bottles. Like, I think you can actually get it higher up than that. I'm sure I've got it higher up than that. There we go. That's what we want. What we do with this one, yes, I know it's in line with this one, but obviously this is going to give you the line all the way down drum as well. As you can see all the way to the other end of drum. You can see the door to terrace, and if that camera gets destroyed in Geisha, you can now see back into Geisha through the feet holes as well. This one here gives you so much information, but where the drones are going to be coming from is from terrace and from Geisha this side, and then obviously from this door at the top of black stairs, and also down the black stairs as well. And obviously you've got the Geisha cam as well. This one's a little bit more for info, but you will get drones. But if you can stay on these 3 cams somewhere near towards the first minute of the round, go and play somewhere safe behind a reinforcement for the first 60, 90 seconds, somewhere like this. As long as this is reinforced, obviously just chill here. Make sure no one pushes you. I mean, it's a classic push to jump in shrine window early and then jump in here. So just make sure that you're watching for that. You're going to be able to see that on your own cams anyway, because you'll see if anyone crosses at the top. But just keep flicking between the cams, keep destroying the drones. Obviously, you can also hide these with observation blockers, which we've not talked about as well. But the drone that's likely going to come through from terrace here, you can just stop them seeing what you're doing. If you put the observation blocker on the door, as soon as the drone comes through, it's going to come through the door straight away. You're not going to be able to destroy it realistically till it gets to about there, as long as you don't miss your first few shots. So with that being the case, put the observation blocker like this. So as they come through, the drone comes through, they don't see what's to the left, they don't know the Maestro camera's there, and they lose the drone. If you put it right on the door, the drone's going to be through the door before you can destroy it. The same goes for the one at the top of, to the one in Geisha. Don't put your observation blocker on the window, put your observation blocker something like this. So when the drone comes in and looks to the right, doesn't see anything, can't see if they've got feet holes in drum. That's key to let... If you can stop the attackers knowing if you've got those feet holes, that's also pretty important as well. Then you destroy the drone with the camera, and the drone gets no information apart from knowing there's nothing in the direct sort of area that it jumps in the window. When you jump the drone through this window, the first thing you want to do is make sure if they've got the feet holes in drum. If they haven't got the feet holes, you can pretty much jump in here for free most of the time. Or you can nade behind this, throw a nade up here, so it lands here, and then you can take it for free. Obviously, having the feet holes in drum makes jumping in here a bit of a nightmare. Another solid setup. Skyscraper is such a fun map, man. I feel like it's one of the maps where you can get creative with a load of different setups because of the layout of it. Like, you can make like head holes all the way across most of the sites and play outside the sites and play retake. It's such a fun map. I think it's been one of the best additions to the rank pool because it wasn't in rank for ages. And how long's it been in now? It's been like quite a while, I imagine. Probably longer than I remember because I always think things are closer than they are. But I bet it's been back in the rank pool for a good few years now. But yeah, absolute great map, and hopefully this setup helps as well. We're on to Villa now, and what would a Maestro setup video be without looking at defending Bar Gaming, or sorry, Bar Gaming? Bar Aviator, or Aviator Games actually is called, on Villa. So, bear in mind, the usual setup for Maestro used to be putting above the hatches, which was over there on Study, and down here on 90. I'm going to change it up just slightly. I'm still going to use the Study one because I think it's a good camera, but the first one's going to be here on top main. Now this bookcase here does have some books in like this, but you just punch them out and they disappear. They actually look just like those. I think they might actually be the same sort of object model as those. So you just punch them out like that, and then you can put your camera and put it on the right hand side. The beauty of this is it's completely hidden from anyone walking up to it and anyone coming up main stairs, obviously. From here, though, you can actually see further round, and you're going to be able to destroy any drones that come upstairs and then go down towards bar door, which is what most people do. They're going to drone up here, they're going to bring it round here, and they're going to start droning down towards there. So you've got the main stairs covered with this one. You can also cover the main stairs slightly, but not as efficiently, with this camera here that goes and Study. Now, we've moved it slightly further away from the corner of the room, and we are still going to get rid of the hatch, because it now makes it more difficult for attackers to go and punch it. You can still punch it. If you run at it and melee as you run at it, you will still punch it, but obviously you'll fall down the hatch. I've never noticed that wheel's spinning. Tell me that I'm not alone there. I've never ever noticed that that's spinning. I've never noticed that. In all the years I've been playing Villa, I've never noticed that posture wheel is spinning. That's wild. Anyway, back to Maestro. So yeah, any drones that come in Study, you're going to be able to stop that. Don't forget, anyone that tries to get the breach, you're going to be able to destroy Selma charges, the banner pallets, etc. that go in there as well. And then the last one is to go on the 4 out here. Now, get rid of these plant pots. It's much easier to punch them than it is to shoot them. Because when you shoot them, it sometimes takes like 4, 5, 6 bullets for some reason. Tuck the camera right far in, as far as you can. And then spin it around, obviously. Now, what this is going to be doing is stopping any drones that come out of statue. And stopping any drones that come out of trophy. Or, well, this is trophy, but this area here is called wolf and pig. Wolf and pig. I personally call it wolf. Some people call it pig. But this is wolf window or pig window. So this door here is wolf door or pig door. So you're going to be able to stop any drones that come out of there. Any drones that come out of there, and obviously anything coming up top red. Now, bear in mind, I am talking about Maestro's job here predominantly being stopping drones, which is great. But a lot of these cameras are going to survive into the late round. Like this camera here, for example, no one's noticing that. The only time someone's noticing that is if they see it on a drone. Well, if they see it on a drone, put an observation blocker in front of it somewhere and stop people seeing it on a drone. And that's all 3 cameras there. You think about this, it goes from that angle there all the way down to 90 here and all the way from to top zombie door there. Oh, I've gone through the door the wrong way. And then you've got the camera here, top main, that comes all the way down to 90. So you've got the angle there all the way down here and there all the way down here. And then obviously from study, you can do the opposite thing as well. You've got the angle across here a little bit, but then from there all the way down there and the entirety of study. It covers everything. You're going to get all the drones that come through study door, all the drones that come through top main, and all the drones that come through from wolf or slash pig and through statue. There's no drones that should be making it anywhere near sight, as long as you've got enough time in the... When I say enough time, I mean as in if you go down to a 3v5, you can't sit on your Maestro cameras, right? Whereas if you've got enough time and you're still in a 5v5 after a minute and a half, or you've still got the ascendancy, you can definitely spend time in your cameras to destroy those drones and help the team. So there we have it. There's a couple of 3-camera Maestro setups. I think Maestro is really strong at the moment. Obviously, the main counter is Bravo, but don't forget, that mute exists still as well. That mute jammer can stop Bravo getting anywhere near your Maestro camera. So think about if you're playing in a stack, you could team Maestro up with... Maestro? You could team Maestro up with mute to try and deny the Bravo drone getting anywhere near the camera, but just bear that in mind. And like I said at the start of the video, if you think they've got a Bravo, get on those cams at the start of the round and stay active so you can shoot that Bravo drone before they hack your camera. As always, a massive thank you for getting involved, whether you've watched this video for 10 seconds, whether you watched it for 10 minutes, or if you've watched it for 10 hours or for 10 times. Thank you very, very much. The channel's nothing without viewers, and that's you. So I might make the videos, but what's the point if there's nobody out there to watch them? So thank you very much for getting involved. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!